Hello, we've got a new version of Tracardi. So let me walk you through what we've got for you. We have prepared for you a new dark theme. You can work with Tracardi at night and your eyes will not be hurt. And also we have refactored the backend of Tracardi, and now all the metadata is stored in MySQL, not in Elasticsearch. This is just a huge cost saving for multi-tenant installations where you have just only one MySQL and all the tenant data is stored there. All the big data is still stored in Elasticsearch. We also have a new deployment process that allows you to work in a kind of sandbox and do all the configuration and then move it to production. That means that whenever you work on something, it will not make any changes to the production until you decide to do so. Also, we have just one worker right now. We had like multiple workers in the previous version. All were merged into one worker, so it simplifies the commercial installation and it's a huge cost saving. We also have audiences and activations that replace the workflow segmentation. Audiences will allow you to just get a segment of your customers, create an audience, and then use the activation to activate that part of your customer group. We also removed event segmentation. That is no longer needed because everything you did in the post-event segmentation can be done in automation. We also can save workflows in a GitHub. We have auto events that can be triggered when somebody views something, or clicks on something, or selects some text. And also we have some built-in events. Okay, so let's get started and let's see how it works. Before I continue, I would like you to consider starting our GitHub page and subscribing to this channel. This is the simplest and the best way to support our project. When you log into Tracardi, you will see the new dashboard. And in that dashboard, we just put more useful information than in the previous version. Right now, you can see just the split of the event types that you have collected. And you have an online session counter where you can see all the online sessions, the last profiles that were using your site or your mobile app. And also you can see a live event stream, what have been clicked on your page. Also, the events can contain data about the products added to the baskets, etc. So for example, when you click on one of the events, you can see all the data that was collected, all the properties, from what device it was collected, the context of that collection, the request, if there's any, some operating systems, etc. So this is the new dashboard. The dashboard was changed. And also we have the dark mode as mentioned before, so you can switch the modes here. We also have a new deployment mode. In the commercial version, you have two modes in which you can work. One is sandbox and the other one is production. In the sandbox, you just configure the state of your CDP. So for example, in this part, in my inbound traffic, I have defined event source that collects data from Tracardi.com, and this source is running. My other event source is a website demo that is a deployment mode. That means it's not available on the internet. So when I click on production, you can see I can only see my Tracardi web page, not the website demo. If I make any changes to the running part of Tracardi, and this way it works with every configuration in Tracardi. So for example, I will just make a small change to my event source. So you can see I have two versions, one running and one draft. So when I click on production, you should not see this exclamation mark. Here we go. So this is a full separation between a sandbox and a production. In an open source version, we don't have two modes. There is only a production mode, and you can make changes directly into the production. Another part is that we've added the GitHub to the automation. When you create some workflow that processes events, now you can save it into the GitHub. You can push the changes and also you can pull the changes from the GitHub. Before you do that, you have to go into the maintenance configuration and create a new configuration, which is a GitHub configuration that defines where we should store all the data. Once you do that, you will be able to save your workflows in the GitHub, and all the versioning and all the changes will be kept in the GitHub. We've also added audiences, and audiences replaced segmentation. With audiences, you can select some part of your profiles, create a segment, and then use it to activate your customers. So for example, I could create an audience that can be filtered by profile attributes. So that could be like a gender. So I could say that I would like to select all females that have an event. So for example, they completed a checkout, okay, bought something, and the sum of that checkout, of the price, product price, I put here a name, price, and here I can write a condition saying that that product price should be bigger than 100. Okay, and I could save it, but I need a name of that audience. Okay, save. So here is my audience. Let me activate it. Actually, I could estimate this, but probably I don't have any data for that. Yeah, I don't have any data for that audience. So maybe I can. Okay, let's just page view, because there should be page view, and the count of the page view should be bigger than 2. Okay. Yeah, I have 4 profiles. So now I've changed this. I've changed this audience, saying that I need all the females that actually did not put the females. All the profiles that have a page view. That count of that page view is bigger than 2, and I can estimate the size of that audience. This is 4 profiles. This is just a fraction of a percent of the collected profiles. I can click and see, here we go, we have somebody who has more than 2 page views. The same here. Okay, so this is actually like my segment. Okay, the audience. Well, let me enable this. Save it. And then when I have this audience, I can use the activation. And right now, you can see on my list that this is the audience that I've created. The description is the old one actually, and here I can right now I can publish this data to the Kafka topic or send it to the API. This is just the beginning of the activations that we write. These are very technical for the companies that would like to integrate it with their tools, but we'll be also adding additional activations that would be like send it to, for example, HubSpot, or send it to MailChimp, or maybe send it to Google to remarket this audience. So we will be adding more activations. Right now we have technical activations that allow you to send this activation data to some Kafka topic or to the API. I can show you how you can do that with the API. You need to create a resource, so there will be an API URL. You will need to select the method, the endpoint. So that could be an endpoint of any external system actually. For example, okay, endpoint, and here you have the mapping. So how the data should be sent. So for example, I would like only to send an email from that profile. So what I would do, profile data contact email. So what it will do, it will just send this JSON the email and will replace this part with the profile email, and that will be sent to the resource that we define in API resource. If you don't know how to create a resource, you just select API endpoint, and here you just type your URL. There's a password or whatever, some headers. If you save it, okay, maybe I can do that. Okay, you should be able to. Oh, okay. In here you will see your API. So once you create it, save and activate, system will just pick it up and just send it to that API. This replaced the segmentation. Now you can, like on demand, create any segment you want. You just can create an audience and activate it as many times as you want. But you have to remember that everything is like in real time. If you create an audience that is based on time, for example, I would like to see somebody that visited my page not longer than 5 minutes ago, then this audience will change, because if nobody visited your page within 5 minutes, then the audience will be empty. If somebody visits your page, then the audience will automatically be updated and you could activate that person. So you have to remember that this is all real time. There are also new built-in event types. You can always just check all the event types in our maintenance and built-in events documentation, where when you click on some event type, you can see how to use this and how the event is mapped and how the profile is mapped. There have been new events regarding the messaging. So you can just automatically register when some message was sent, or just messaging started, the message status, if the message was received. This is very useful when you do some emailing or SMS somebody. You can use those events just to collect this data. Also, some minor changes were made in the way we present data. With this slider, you can filter the data by time. So this is the data within 1 hour. And also some changes were made to the way we present events, some technical information about how the event was collected. So this event was collected synchronously. And also the way we present the profile has changed a bit. We have more data in those tabs. You have information about the IDs that were used to merge the customer. We also have the information where the data is stored, in what index, and also how long it will stay in the cache. Also some information about the primary ID, if there is any used. Also, there are some minor changes in the tests, where right now you can save the test. When you test your implementation, you can use this part just to test how the system will process an event. So for example, this is a test call to our API. It is also very helpful when you send data through the API, not through the JavaScript that is placed on the page. So for example, I would like to send through my event source web page, tracardi.com. I would like to send some event type. Here you have all the built-in event types and also the custom ones that you've sent to Tracardi. So let's say, okay, it's maybe some financial event type, account payable. So here you can type the profile ID. If you don't do it, the system will treat this profile ID as anonymous. But what's very important, you can click here and get predefined properties. So in here you can fill the data. Of course, not every data is needed. You can just delete some data, but you will also see the request payload in here. So if you would like to use some external tool to send this to the API, you can see how the request payload is created for every event. And once you do that, you can see the response, and also that is created. When you click on this, you can see that there is a profile. The event was not registered yet, but it should be ready in a few seconds. So you can see this is the new profile, still not all the events. Right now you can see the account payable. Events in a commercial version are registered within 3 to 5 seconds, so there is this latency. Okay, and I think this is it. A lot of changes were made in the background processes, in the backend, so it's not visible, but it all makes the system run very smooth, and it should process more data than the previous version.